This might actually work.
Yeah, it might work this time. So, Ken, we have a guest here, but we're going to do the intro and then we'll get on to our normal Wednesday stuff.
Fantastic.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10. I've been running scams on the street since I was 10.
Hey, hey, Mike, what do you see? A falcon that inflates for free. Hey, hey, Ken, what's the drill? Blue milk sipping gives me a thrill. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. Left, we're marching through. Cosplay helmets and a saber or two. Hey, hey, Mike, what's the plan? To nerd out harder than anyone can. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. So grab your gear and join the crew. Mike and Ken got a show for you. Laughs and stars and a galaxy far. The Falcon's ready, let's raise the bar. Hey! 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 Hey, hey, Mike, what do you see? A falcon that inflates for free. Hey, hey, Ken, what's the drill? Blue milk sipping gives me a thrill. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. Hey! Hey! Left, we're marching through. Cosplay helmets and a saber or two. Hey, hey, Mike, what's the plan? To nerd out harder than anyone can. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. So grab your gear and join the crew. Mike and Ken got a show for you. Laughs and stars and a galaxy.
Well, we here Wednesday. We didn't even get a chat. I was thinking we got a chat before we started. So it's
There's still
summertime.
time.
It's summertime. Do we have to run? Do we have to be up later on summer? Or I don't know.
Something like that. Maybe we're allowed to stay up later in summer, I think.
So we do have a guest. So we're gonna everything we do, we're gonna do in 3 compared to normal. So we'll start with Ken first. Ken, and it'll help Jay figure out what he wants to say too. But Ken, before we start, where can we find you on internet and everywhere else?
Well, occasionally you can find me on the Bantha Milk podcast around the Dejeric table with the guys over there. I bounty hunt across the galaxy with Todd. I'm with you most Wednesdays, and I've got this little bitty show called the Rambling Star Wars Fan. Plus, you can find me on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. How about you, Jay? Where's the world? How's the world going to find you?
On social media, really just by my name. I also have a Discord I'm making for a Star Wars 5 edition TTRPG, based off of my fan story that we'll get into later. But aside from that, just social media. I do plan on making a YouTube soon just to talk about lore and stuff for that fan story.
And
Awesome.
before we got on, you said you also do some podcasting of your own. What about that?
Yeah, Wrestling Unleashed podcast. So it's just me and a couple other guys. A few of them are pro wrestlers in training. One is a pro wrestler himself, and CMLL, Diego Dad Bomb Hill. And we have a bunch of guests on and stuff like that, coaches and pro wrestlers and gym owners, trainers, stuff like that.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, that's cool. You have to make sure I get the link so I can put it in the show notes when we throw this up on our feeds, so people can check it out.
Most definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, we believe in cross pollination. So
Yes.
you go to our show, we go to your show. We send people everywhere.
Yeah,
Well-
for sure. I think a lot of pro wrestling fans are Star Wars fans, anyways. I think it's hard to avoid certain nostalgic things from your childhood.
Well, a friend of mine, and a friend of Zoe's is Steele Saunders. He does a very large Star Wars podcast, and he's a pro wrestling fan.
Nice.
So
Yeah, send them on over sometime.
yeah, maybe I will. Yeah. So, and you guys can find me here weekly and helping Zoe out with her podcast, Star Wars Geek Girl. 501st Cast monthly. We do that for the 501st Legion. We just recorded the July show, so it'll be up July 5th, 501st on the 5th. It is weird, Ken, because I'm used to you and me doing everything off the cuff, and when you do one that is scripted and organized, it's a whole nother ball game. But
That's
yeah,
for sure.
and then the time, it's weird for the time shifts because we need to record it ahead of time to get the editing in. So you record it like 2 weeks early, 3 weeks early sometimes, which is kind of odd. So before we get to Jay, and Jay can chime in if he has anything along this line. But Ken, have you done any building or working on that armor of yours?
Yeah, I'm still working on the little greebly bits for my gauntlets. So I added a little keypad up here.
Oh, that's nice.
Little bit of accent colors here on the side. And then this weekend, time permitting, I'm going to secure them together with this elastic. And I've got little magnets on the inside that hopefully will hold. They're strong enough to hold them closed.
Nice.
I was struggling getting ones. You can't really tell very easily here, but I was struggling getting ones that were thin enough to sit within the gauntlets without pushing out or taking up too much space. So I'm hoping these will work okay.
Now, is the metal plate there? Are they going into other magnets or metal plate?
Magnets. So
Okay.
2 magnets coming together.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
How about you? What kind of stuff have you been building?
Well, I've been working on that Fed helmet that I found. And this is what I wanted to talk a little bit about. So I was at, we had a end of the year work picnic, and I saw one of my old bosses, and he started working on an R2 unit,
Okay.
a green one. And he showed me pictures. It was really smooth, and he had never done anything like this, first one. And he said, yeah, I used, the Rust-Oleum sandable primer. And he said, I didn't use the 2-in-1 because that was a pain. I used just the sandable primer one, the filler primer. I didn't realize there was 2 different ones. I thought they were literally interchangeable.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I think, because I bought them both, like I think the filler primer you can get more at the automotive places or Harbor Freight, and the 2-in-1 you wind up getting at like Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff. And I think I think literally they sit next. There's 3 kinds of primer that sit: the 2-in-1, the filler primer, and the etching primer. And
what is etching primer? I mean, I've seen it 100 times, but
yeah,
I don't
you
know
don't want
what
to.
it's
You don't need to use that on plastic. That's more if you're going to put it on something that something that has a gloss finish or something like that. It needs to like really grab. It's similar to when Krylon first came out with that paint that you could paint your kids' toys with.
Okay.
Years ago, it's a primer like that. I've never tried it on 3D printed stuff, so I think that'd be overkill.
Okay.
Anyway, so I always use those 2 interchangeable. So I'm going to try a can of that because he said it was night and day difference. And so maybe just because, he never did any of this before, he probably noticed. I've used it interchangeable, and sometimes I just thought I wasn't doing a good job sanding.
Okay.
So we shall see. That's my
R2 units. I need to join that builders club.
yeah. The R2 builders. So you're I don't know what the group is. You want to find a local group, but the R2 builders are a unique costuming group because they almost have no structure, if that makes sense. Like, because Ken and I are in the Mando Mercs and the 501st Legion, and we have structure. Like, you have a person that leads the group and this and that, and they have people that lead it, but it's all like it's all, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe you can explain it better, Ken.
Well, it's mostly just a group of builders who are really excited about building things and aren't necessarily concerned about themselves being seen. It's not about them at all. It's about truly their creation.
Yeah.
And so, and because most of the creation, the building can be done solo by yourself, there doesn't need to be a hierarchy or a structure in terms of this boss and that boss. And there also aren't necessarily any requirement that your R2 unit must be able to have its head swivel 180 degrees, or it needs to make these beeps and those boops. Yeah. So I think it is a structureless organization.
And I've told this story before, but when I was at Orlando years ago, and I saw we had the 501st Bash in this giant room, and outside of the room, everyone was hanging out, and it was all the different groups. And the droid builders were just like you said, Ken. They were just kind of on their own talking droid stuff. The 501st was hanging out, showing off our shirts, and then all of a sudden the Mando Mercs came in, and they were just like that crazy uncle biker gang guy. They just came rolling in.
Yeah, and it is interesting hanging out with folks who build droids, because you might understand some of what they're talking about, and then there may be other parts of the conversation where I'm just going to walk away because I
droid.
Well, they speak droid, they speak coding, they speak electronics and soldering, and it's a different level of assembly. So it is very, very interesting. It reminds me back so I went to undergrad at this small school in southwestern New York. It was known for its ceramic engineering, so highly specialized and focused materials engineering. It was also known for its ceramic art. And those two worlds couldn't be more opposite. You had these hardline science people, and then on the other end of the spectrum, you had these wildly creative, wacky, artistic people. And then you had people like me sitting in the cafeteria going, I don't know what either one of them are talking about, but it's really interesting because they're so into it.
Right. And also, hi, Anthony in chat.
Yeah, there you go.
Anthony and Susan told us what etching primer is. It's
right.
Acid,
and again,
base.
I bought all three just by mistake, because how many of us have rushed, like, there's closing in 5 minutes and I need to grab primer, and I've grabbed all three of those primers, and I've thrown etching primer on stuff because I'm like, I got to use this stuff. But yeah, I would definitely reach out, Jay, to the droid builders. They are a hoot. There's the gentleman from Maryland who works at Aberdeen Proving Grounds. I want to say his name's Rob. I don't know. He came to my school. He didn't know anyone, and he built it solo on his own. And now he's a big member of the group, and he does some really crazy stuff. And when I helped the droid builders years ago, before 3D printing was really big, most of the droids were built with plywood and aluminum skins that were laser cut that wrapped around the plywood. Like I know I used to print a couple parts once in a while for Dave. When Dave's all his printers were busy, he'd call me up and say, I need this little something or another printed, because I wasn't as skilled as Dave, but I had the artistic way I could fit this print on my printer that shouldn't technically fit. So that was my skill.
That's very cool. I'd almost like to get one of the ones made the old way. Maybe that'd be kind of.
I don't know. You know, after helping guys the old way, if you the new way, especially Michael Badley,
way better.
Michael Badley's files, his are made. You could tell they're made by someone who knows 3D printing because his just stack on top of each other with no seam lines and everything. Like his stuff is top notch.
3D printing's pretty sophisticated stuff.
Yeah. So, well, before we move on to that, Ken, have you trooped at all? Anything else? No trooping?
Nope, no trooping. Nope, not since. I haven't trooped since Fan Expo, Philly, at the end of May.
I was supposed to troop this coming Saturday, but I had to back out because we normally visit Zoe in July, and because her new job starts July 1st, we had to push it up last minute. So I missed that, but I'll probably look at the trooping thing. I'm also looking for the calendar day to have our meet up at my house.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're gonna call it. I've been looking for a TK helmet. I'm looking for a TK helmet I got multiple plans for this plan of yours.
Yeah, and most of the ones I've been finding lately, whether it's on eBay or even Facebook Marketplace, I think they're wanting an unusually high amount for a Black Series Stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah. Well, again, the Black Series, I'm still debating on, would it be easier to put raised clay on it because that'll sand right off. You know, when I mold it, just put raised lines, and then we could just sand it off. There's a couple other helmets out there that I'm looking at. And then I have a 3D scanner at school. I was thinking, I wonder if I should bring that home and scan one of my helmets and then print it.
Could you scan it and then modify the file? Like you said, with the paint might show up as slightly raised. Could you then sand it?
Well, but if I scan mine, I can scan where the earpieces and stuff, it would come as a solid scan.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. I'm just messing around with all the different things. I thought I knew someone with a fiberglass helmet. I just gotta go through my brain. I'm just looking for a one-piece Stormtrooper helmet for a unnamed project right about the moment until we get further. But it has to be a helmet that doesn't have any sentimental value because I don't know if it will survive the process. So
easily molded.
I don't know who there was a fiberglass helmet floating around here that I think came from Spain like 20 some years ago. And I just honestly can't remember who had it. So
that's too funny.
I don't know if it really came from Spain, but back 20 years ago, if anyone had a helmet that they didn't know where it came from, they either said it came from the Philippines or Spain. So, there was like Vader. You're like, well, where'd that Vader come from?
Lore. You're just going to give it some lore.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so I before we were going to talk to Jay about Star Wars and a whole bunch of pieces. Yeah, Anthony, if you come across a one-piece helmet, send me a link. I have a feeling Anthony will probably find one. But before we start with why you're here, Jay, I did want to ask you, how did you get introduced to Star Wars?
How
and when?
I've actually been watching Star Wars since I was like 2 years old.
Okay.
So like I grew up with Star Wars. I was born in '93, so I grew up with Star Wars, Land Before Time, Jason Goes to Hell, and Heavy Metal in my rotation constantly, and Spawn in my rotation, and Star Wars just kind of
that Land Before Time keeps like that's like an outlier. That whole list of things.
That was my childhood, man. I don't know why, but that was.
No, I'm just.
You gotta balance it with something.
Yeah, you gotta balance it out. But yeah, it just kind of stuck with me, and the things that I was into Star Wars for as a kid. I still am, but as an adult, I kind of gravitated more towards the blurring of lines, the politics, things not being so white and black or red and blue. Um, I like all the theories that come out by the fans, um, especially on the politics. Like, are the Jedi good guys? Is the Republic good? They've done some pretty bad things.
Well, and I would say George Lucas planted those seeds
Right, right.
in the prequels. You know, like
And even in the books and in the comics and everything, you have those blurred lines and those like this stack of books right here, Legacy of the Force, very controversial series of books, very divided among the fandom.
well, see, I consider myself a big Star Wars fan, but the books are one of those. Even the Marvel comic books. When I was a kid, I was a big Marvel guy. I owned a comic book store in my 20s.
Yeah, my dad did as well. That's another reason I was really into comics and stuff like that.
But the Star Wars comic books never really appealed to me
No?
until Dark Horse took over. But the original Star Wars series, and I think what I had the original ones, like when, the first couple, but
Yeah.
like when I went to get my monthly books,
I have some Dark Horse ones right here.
yeah, the Dark Horse. Oh yeah, well the High Republic stuff is really nice.
Yeah.
But the old Dark Horse from, I want to say, the late 80s, early 90s, whenever Dark Horse took up the Star Wars stuff, I really enjoyed that stuff. Ken, did you read any of those?
Oh goodness, yeah. I have almost the entire legacy arc of the Dark Horse comics.
I mean, I like those for their cover.
Two in this stack, but
And also, it was the only Star Wars we got for a long time. Like it was just, and I mean, I didn't dislike the Marvel. It just didn't. I read this will really tell how old I am. I read the Star Wars comic strips in the newspaper.
The
You know,
three
that
or
was-
four panel strips.
Yeah.
that's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, no color, just black and white
yeah.
strips.
Very cool.
So now, do you have any costumes?
I do not have any costumes. I
Okay.
plan on I think I do plan on getting costumes for a little fan film project.
Yeah, well,
But,
let's
I-
jump right in. Let's jump
I
right
really
into
want
your fan film.
also get into like Ludo sports and stuff because I noticed like there's like lightsaber fencing and stuff like that, and I think I could fit right into that. But the fan film is gonna be that's more of a future project. It's gonna be based off of the novels I'm making that are an unofficial Star Wars stories called Star Wars Echoes. It's gonna be a series of novels very inspired by Visions as far as standalone stories. There will be like prequels and sequels to certain books. Little spoiler there, but for the most part, it's gonna be all original stories, very grounded in the lore and the canon. Paying as much respect as I can to the lore and the canon, and very very inspired by manga and anime too. Like I said, Visions. I'm really into everything that's coming out of all the manga and the comics and the Japanese artists and writers and mangaka, and I've been trying to order all that stuff lately too. I'm trying to add all that to my collection.
Here,
Yeah, these are the concept images. I'm actually having all these redone by renowned artists and independent artists in the comic book space and community and manga space. One of those comic artists is Mario Gully. He's worked for Image. He's worked for DC. He's done Batman comics. all kinds of stuff. Superman. He's even done some Star Wars pieces that I could send you. Um, but yeah, I'm just trying to get a wide array of people that are into Star Wars that have worked on Star Wars on my unofficial Star Wars project, and kind of bring it to life.
Yeah, I really like the covers. Like the Jawas stood out to me. I'm a softie for Jawas, so
Yeah, so that's actually I came up with that because I love Jawas. That's one of my favorite species in Star Wars, and they're just so interesting to me. And I was thinking one day, because I'm making my own fictional universe too, simultaneously, parallel to this Star Wars story and unofficial Star Wars story. And I just like playing with lore. I love when you have these worlds like George Lucas has created, where you have this big sandbox of elements to play around with. And I was thinking to myself, has there ever been a Jawa Mando? Has there ever been a Jawa Jedi? Which
I
there
don't
has.
think
Yeah.
there's been a Jawa.
There has.
There's
Has
been
there?
a Jawa Jedi.
Yeah.
No,
Um,
sorry, it's a Tuscan Jedi. Sorry,
Tuscan.
but
Yeah.
but there
Tuscan
has
Jedi.
been force sensitive Jawa, and I wanted to like play off of that more. So I made Jawa Legends, which is these rumored myths and tales of certain Jawas that were more than the average scrappers and junkyard dwellers and crawler drivers. They have a little bit more personality. One might have a translator, so you might get to hear a Jawa talk, see what a Jawa thinks a little bit in this unofficial story.
Now,
Oh,
well, because you mentioned visions. Like I think Ken might be able to correct me, but I feel like visions is almost what George Lucas wanted people to do with his stories. Like
Yeah,
vision is almost like a culmination, don't you think, Ken?
well, it's what George wanted people to do with the stories, and it's what they've done with their stories. I mean, if you look at some of the more recent anthology books that have come out, like from a certain point of view, um, so it's I think George had wanted both of those things. He wanted more Star Wars creators to make more Star Wars stuff, and his world was built in such a way. And I think it's interesting to use the word toy box or sandbox, because a lot of the other Star Wars makers, including Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, have referred to the galaxy far, far away as a giant sandbox to play in. Um, I think George wanted us, the fans, to talk about that stuff when we weren't watching the movies, to talk about that stuff when we weren't reading the books, to talk about that stuff while we were playing with the toys. And I'm curious. You mentioned that you're really interested in the lore, and that there are some pieces of it that you want to build this other stuff, other stories around. What are some of those foundational pieces of the Star Wars lore that you think are so important that they need to show up in your fan made material?
well, it's not so much that I feel like they need to show up, but I just feel like, oh, well, something could be told here. There's a story to be told here that hasn't been told yet, or there's an element here that hasn't been quite used in this way or this fashion. And and there's just a lot of lore to play with in Star Wars, like you both obviously know. There's just so much in the comics, the books, the expanded universe and legends, and everything Disney's doing now with Lucas Films and George Lucas. It's very inspiring, to say the least, as someone who writes fan stuff for Star Wars. And
And would would each of your books be a single story, or would your books be like multiple short stories within a book?
so it would be single stories, and other novels further down the line might be prequels or sequels to those stories.
Gotcha. Okay, that's very cool.
And they will be in like a graphic novel style, and it'll be very manga inspired art.
Well, what's nice is because we lost Star Wars Insider, um, and I feel like they always had a story section to it, and we have comic books, but there is a section of the fans who like that like story. Like I felt like the stories were a little deeper sometimes that you got in Star Wars Insider.
Right,
So there is a group of people that want that kind of story.
right,
Well, and I think sometimes those fan makers aren't constrained by whether it's the studio or um, this worry about whether someone will or won't like it. I mean, fan stories can literally go all over the place because it might be just for that maker and maybe his or her handful of friends that would want to read it. You don't have to consider whether people in Topeka or Tennessee are gonna like this or connect with it. You can just make it whatever it is you want it to be. There's a certain I and not being a that kind of maker myself, but I'm gonna guess there's a kind of freedom that comes with that.
oh yeah, definitely. You get to play around with elements that you've been a fan of forever. That's the funnest part, as long as you don't take no liberties. Like I'm a fan of a lot of fan made Star Wars stuff. I'm not a fan of anything that takes liberties with changing canon events or well established lore. I'm not really big into that. So
So
I'm trying to avoid doing anything like that the best I can. I'm not gonna make a character who's confirmed to have a midichlorian count higher than Anakin Skywalker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do something like that. I'm gonna be telling stories very grounded in the lore.
right.
Try to be as creative as I can, and try to make something that people can nerd out to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what'll be nice is when you have your story out there, you see the first person that dresses like one of your characters.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Honestly, I actually have someone. One of my buddies. I told you I was in the SCA, the Society of Creative Anachronisms. One of the former kings in the Eastern Kingdom, which the state of Maine falls under. Um, and so does New York. He was actually in one of the Who's music videos recently,
Oh, cool.
and that kind of inspired me too. I was like, man, maybe, just maybe, that connection right there. Maybe I can get some networking going with this fan film thing, and maybe I can have the Who make a cameo in the background of my fan film for this.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well, I mean, fan films like I would say fan films are right up there with podcasting when it comes to me in Star Wars. Those odd offshoots of my fandom, um, and like even before I knew of or ever thought I even be in one, is like I used to watch Chad Vader,
Yeah,
or I bought this. I forget what the magazine was. It was a magazine that told you what DVDs were coming out, and it had Troops in it. A DVD in the magazine with Troops, way before YouTube. And I bought that stupid magazine just for that DVD. So,
as you should.
right. Well, I mean, have you seen the Troops fan film?
I haven't.
So that's what Troops is was that the 80s when Cops was big?
Yeah.
The TV show Cops. It was the Star Wars version of the TV show Cops.
That sounds
and it followed some stormtroopers. Now it'll change the canon of New Hope if you watch it.
okay, so I might have seen. Okay, I might have seen. I might have seen that or bits of it.
Yeah, and that was my entry level into fan film,
Nice.
And like I said, Chad Vader was I loved, and my girls when they were little they loved Chad Vader.
That's great.
And then we have the Han Solo Chronicles. So if I don't know if Ken can get his pink shorts all the way up to Maine though to film.
That's easy. I just put them in a lunchbox
There
or
was
a
people.
Ziploc bag, for that matter.
There was people there watching this film. I think they thought we were filming real Star Wars for a minute. Some of those people.
That's great.
Well, we were filming real Star Wars for a minute. What are you talking about?
That's true. That's true. We had Ken in his pink shorts.
There was a video camera. There were costumed characters. There was a director. There was a boom operator. It's real Star Wars.
And we had Donna giving out coins from Iceland or whatever she was for. Where was that?
Norway.
Yeah, she was.
She only gave them out to some people.
Yeah. So, have you shot any fan films of any kind before?
No, this'll be a first experience. I'm looking to network with a lot of the people who are already doing it in the Star Wars fandom community. Few YouTubers, few independent studios and stuff.
I would say reach out to your local 501st if you need troopers, and your.
Yeah.
I don't know who's up in Maine. I don't know.
I'm sure Mainers are into everything apparently, because I never even heard of the SCA till I came up here, and apparently it was down in Florida where I'm from too. So
yeah, I'm trying to look what.
Look at all of them, because they're all gonna bring in, their knowledge and know-how, and so you might have someone from the Rebel Legion who can help you build smugglers or pirate costumes, or someone from Droid Builders who can help you, fabricate something for the movie.
Right.
Speaking of movies, though, and real Star Wars, because you mentioned real Star Wars earlier, I've seen y'all talking about Mando and Grogu a couple episodes.
Yeah.
So, what do y'all think of this? The critics, man, the box office. What the box office ain't making sense to me. I thought the movie was great, but I will admit, when the window that I seen it, the day before it premiered, maybe that was why, there was probably only like 9 other people in the theater room other than me and my partner.
Well, I personally think the box office in movies is it's changed compared to even a couple years ago. Because the shelf life of a movie is so short. And like I teach in a part of Maryland where the kids, their parents don't have a lot of money.
Right.
And some of my students have only been to a movie. These are middle school students, have only been to the movie theater once in their life, their entire life, as 13-year-olds. So it's a different animal. And I also think, depending on the summer, like right now, people have limited funds. When the economy's booming, people will go see a movie 3, 4, 5 times.
Right.
If you have a limited,
maybe, because I mean, even if we talk about finances, like today, a single ticket price or a single ticket in many places is $17 to $25.
Yes.
Depending on the theater that you go to.
Yes.
That's for one person. You throw a family into the mix, and now it's even bigger. Don't even talk about the snacks or the popcorn buckets or all the other extras.
I blame the popcorn buckets, because now people go once and they're like, I really want the AT-AT. So I can only see the movie once because I had to buy the AT-AT.
Yeah, so there's that part of it. And then
popcorn bucket alone, that and the Castle of Grayskull popcorn bucket.
Yeah, that's $200 easy. Because I think the AT-AT was either $89 or $99.
Yeah,
something.
And I think Castle Grayskull was right up there too, and that's
I want
not even.
I want to say the Castle was $140.
Oh shoot! Okay, so it's so that's even grosser. That's
Yeah.
even more wild, and that's not even watching the movie. And to Mike's point too about the timing of the movies is different now. I mean, I bet you, and I'm I'm not a movie insider. I don't work in the business. I bet you within 2 months, Mandalorian and Grogu will be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So, and if you have a monthly subscription to that, it's easy to just say, "I'll wait and watch it from my couch."
Well, and also things have changed compared to like I've been to people's houses where it's just as comfortable to sit and watch a TV as it is in a movie theater. They have the surround sound, giant TVs,
Oh yeah.
you know. I mean, I still prefer going to the theater. And
Oh, for sure. I think it's just a nostalgia thing too. How many, like, my partner, I just brought her, that was her first Star Wars movie ever going to see in theater, you know what I mean? Because not many Star Wars movies come out in theater nowadays.
right. Well, now but then like so Zoe has AMC Plus or whatever that service is. She's already seen Mando Grogu 15 times.
That's
So,
awesome. I've
so
only
she
seen it the once in theater. I could watch it online, obviously, but I much rather watch it in the theater or read the comics, or because I'm into the Mando and Grogu manga and all the comics and stuff like that. But what did y'all think about the fact I hear that they canceled the new season as a trade-off to make the movie?
so I heard that might not be true.
I'm hoping that's not true,
So
because
because
I thought the movie was good, but I want to see more Mando and Grogu.
yeah, I don't picture I don't that seems
It just seems unrealistic that they would abandon such a popular character.
yeah. I don't I don't
Who's the highest grossing character that Disney's created so far?
yeah.
I don't know about that part. I don't know if it's Mando and Grogu.
Merchandise-wise, I'm almost no, Grogu alone.
Well, if you
Merchandise-wise,
count as merch, maybe
yeah,
That part I might be able to
Grogu is
believe, but
popular. With people that really, there's people that I see with Grogu shirts on that don't even watch Star Wars.
yeah.
yeah. So that part I might get behind that part of it. But I mean, if you look back to the Force Awakens, that movie in the
Yeah.
theaters made $1 billion with a
Yeah.
B. So and it was also movies at a different time, back when Star Wars movies were an event.
Right.
They made a really big deal out of these kind of things, and I don't think there are many movies today that are seen as an event anymore.
Right.
No. Well, I think Ken and I have alluded to this once in a while. I think we get spoiled. Like if someone would have talked to us in the 90s and said, "Look, when you went to pick your weekly comic books up in the 90s and someone said, "Hey, in 20 years there's going to be this many Marvel films that are pretty close to the comics. There's going to be this many Star Wars and there's going to be a TV show." We would have lost our minds. We would have been like, "Freeze me and wake me up when that's happening."
Right.
Or you would have wedged him and called him a liar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Disney's putting out a ridiculous amount of content. Like, I never thought that there would be a time where there'd be this much Star Wars stuff coming out in every lane that they're
And in a very short period of time too.
Yeah, and people right now are saying, "Oh, we're having a dry spell right now in Star Wars." I'm like, bro, there's 2 manga coming out. There's all kinds of books coming out. There's games coming out. Like,
Another season of a season of the Ninth Jedi.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Well, and that's where I think Star Wars, I like what they did, where they interconnected everything, but you don't have to worry if it's interconnected. Like they took all the old books, and just said, okay, they're legends. They didn't say they were trash, or they just said, look, they're legends.
Which
And
I
they put all
was like, yeah, it's a controversial thing among the fans.
yeah. Well, it is, but
Same time,
they
they're not saying that it's an impossibility. They're not saying that they're not going to play. We already seen Thrawn been introduced through the books by Timothy Zahn, and now you got him in the live action. I thought
Yeah,
was
he
he has a manga coming out. Like
Yeah.
what? I think it's going to be really interesting to see Thrawn, to see how Grogu evolves, to see how Omega evolves from Bad Batch. Um, I'm into the Acolyte because it's the earliest thing we have.
Yeah, I love the Acolyte.
Live.
Well, the other thing is a lot of those fans don't remember what George's thoughts on the books were.
Right.
What was George's thoughts, Ken? Remember?
He knew
Yeah.
that they existed, but he wasn't that involved in their creation.
Yeah, he didn't care. Like if they wrote something in a book and he wanted to change it on screen.
Right.
Well, they had the relationship and understanding that whatever they put in the books wouldn't, he gave them, guardrails and guidelines, and you can talk about these things, but not these. I mean, that's why you had characters like Dash Rendar instead
Right.
of Han Solo and all of this kind of stuff, and they respected that. They were excited to be in George's playbox or in his sandbox, and they also knew what they could and couldn't do with it. And then George would build his other stuff the way that he wanted to, mostly specifically the movies and things like that. But we're now in this place, and you both have alluded to this. There is just so much of it, and because there is so much of it, I think in some ways we're spoiled by the riches of it, and it's almost um, overwhelming to attempt to keep up with all of it, whether you're talking about the 4 or 5 different storylines that exist in the comics or the entire literary catalog of the High Republic, not to mention the live action shows and the animated stuff, whether it's Bad Batch or the Visions material.
I'm
There's
also
just
really
so much.
I'm really liking the Tales series too that are coming
Yeah.
up. I've been enjoying that a lot.
Yeah.
Another thing, like characters like Dooku inspired a few of my fan novel stories big time, because like I said, I'm really into the blurring of lines and the politics and who's actually good, who's actually bad. Are both of these sides actually bad? Are the Jedi well-intentioned people that are compromised by an elite empire? Are the Sith just traditionals that are extremists and actually freedom fighters just fighting for a right to exist? Or it's just different theories and ideologies to look at things, and that's what I like to play with, and I really like the way that Tales portrayed Dooku early on and showed that there was a reason that Dooku thinks the way he does. There was a reason he left the Order, and it really kind of inspired me. Also, Tales inspired me as well, along with a lot of books and comics, because there's just like both of you have said, there's just endless amounts of lore to delve into.
Yeah, well, what's I think what I see lately is because there's so much stuff, it's easier to be a hater because you don't have to check any of it. Like people can say this is wrong with Star Wars. They don't have to read it all. They could just say it's bad.
Right.
Like if you want to have an educated show where you don't have to like everything, but
Right.
it's just much easier to promote you dislike. Like I never read much of Legends. I read some. It'd be easier for me to just say all of Legends sucks, and I wouldn't have to like defend it or anything. I could just
Right.
say it. And I think that's what happens a lot.
Right. No, for sure. Because have I read stories? Have I read Star Wars stories that I was like, what? Like what the hell? That's not at all what I expected where this was going at all. But I've also read far more stories that I'm glad that I did read those stories that had mixed reviews, and looked for myself to see if it was my type of content or not. And more often than not, I feel like maybe I'm just a nerd for Star Wars, but more often than not, I like what I read and what I see.
Well, and I'm going to guess this is just a hunch, but that being a nerd for Star Wars also gives you um, the willingness and the ability to say, "This is exciting stuff. I may not agree with it, but it makes sense. It
Oh yeah,
connects to this, and it's interesting. It's creative."
and the
And
nostalgia, man, the nostalgia just hits different. Like I said, I've been watching it since I was 2 years old. Some of my earliest memories I can recollect as far as watching things are Star Wars. And yeah, Jabba the Hutt used to scare the hell out of me. Um but I still watched it. Still watched it every night, every day. But yeah, it's definitely nostalgic for me. Every time I see something Star Wars coming out or announced, I'm like, "Oh man, I got to get this." I got like even the fan-made stuff. I play fan-made games. Pod Racer and VR. I've played the import of the 64 game. I've played I'm waiting to rebuy Battlefront 2 because I got the Kyber version 2 mods downloaded so I can play with all the extra characters and stuff, and you can also mod it to like make it like Legos, like Lego Battlefront 2.
You're at a whole different level of gaming than I'm at.
Oh man, yeah, I'm actually like I'm talking to you guys off of my gaming PC right now. So like I also there's a fan made game by a single developer and his kids, and it's called Force Combat Beta. I highly implore anyone to look it up and download it. It's a free download on PC, and it's basically Star Wars Mortal Kombat. And
Oh, okay.
has very up to date characters. You can play with a bunch of characters on there.
does anybody know Terrace Kasi?
Oh yeah, right. From Solo.
Solo.
Well,
That
here
was
before we
Kira and Maul's battle style.
before we finish, because we always forget Marcus's commercial. So I say we're gonna run some Marcus's commercials. So you know,
Yeah, for sure.
hang on one sec, everyone. We'll be right back.
Maybe after.
Here are a few reasons why you should visit StarWarsGeekGirl.com. First, we have a poll every month where you can vote on a variety of Star Wars questions, and you can see the last month's poll results to see what other Star Wars fans think. We also have an About page where you can learn all about the podcast, about me, and about Lizzie. There's also a contact form where you can send questions and things we can talk about on the podcast if you would like. There are other Star Wars things to do as well. We have quizzes that you can take, as well as different blog articles about Star Wars things, and book reviews so you can read about different Star Wars books. You can also listen to the Star Wars Geek Girl podcast right on the website. Through an embed link to our Anchor, though there's also links to other places you can listen to the podcast, like Spotify or iTunes. Last but not least, we also have a photo gallery of different amazing pictures of all of us. I hope to see you on StarWarsGeekGirl.com, as well as following us on social media and listening to the podcast.
There, I had to throw that in too. I found that in cleaning out the hard drive. Yeah, we should talk Maul. I mean, Maul's like Maul would be, that's like a pinnacle of bringing movies, books, animation, beloved characters that we didn't think would still be alive in 2026, all in one. What do you think, Ken?
Well, I think Maul is an intense example of how most of these characters that we see on screen for just a little bit of time have more to them than we ever thought. I mean, if you think back to the original trilogy, how much was really known about Han Solo or even Leia for that matter? but they became beloved characters. And over time, year after year, more things got added to their stories, so much so that they became these fully fleshed out characters that you could almost imagine were real. And now we're looking into the deep dark pit that was and is Darth Maul. And I don't know if anyone ever thought they would be that interested in such a bad guy. I'll use the word bad in air quotes, because to Jay's point, how do you describe bad? What is bad? What's right and what's wrong?
Well, and his character, Maul's character, especially in that show, even you weren't necessarily rooting against Maul.
Right, because I mean, for the most part, aside from the fact he's the main character, how could you?
That's true, but I mean, but even
aside from that, he's not really. Is he the main antagonist?
well, I think Clone Wars even showed what he went through, and like he wasn't just like an evil guy that just wanted to be evil his entire life, so it comes back to what you were saying, different colors. There's no,
I'm kind of biased when it comes to Maul, I'll admit. Like, as a kid, my favorite character was Darth Vader. Then as I got a little bit older, I really liked Anakin. Right before he went to the dark side, he was kind of a little extreme, questioning things, kind of the confused stage of Anakin right before he went to the dark side. And then I really started liking Maul. Like, the more I watched the movie over again, like you said, Clone Wars, everything. Wish we would see more of him in the live action. Some more Maul brought back in live action, but we got to see a little glimpse of him.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna see live action Darth Maul for a while.
But one thing I really liked about it, probably one of my favorite elements in the animated series Shadow Lord, was how they added Sam Witwer's like visceral screams into the lightsaber. I thought it was such a sick element.
Yeah, I didn't notice it until I think it was you, Ken. Was it you that told me, or was it Zoe that told me about that?
Could have been either or. Could have been both at different times.
Because once you guys told me, then I because the sound is like certain sounds I pick up on, but that show I wasn't as much sound watching until you guys said that, and then it changed how my ears worked for the show.
And I think all of these things that we've spent so much time enjoying can be witnessed in a variety of ways. So I would challenge either of you to just listen to one of the shows. Don't watch it. Just listen to it.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that the first. Took watching.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it was a subtle thing, and I don't know if like I wouldn't have known it if I hadn't have heard David W. Collins and the makers talk about it. I mean, I heard it, yes, but I don't think I ever recognized it and put the pieces together. And then once you hear it, it can't be unheard.
Right.
But then I'd also encourage you to watch the show, but not watch the show as it is. Watch it in black and white. And you will pick up on so many other things that they were there the whole time, but your awareness just wouldn't let you take it all in. And by doing it in a different way, it allows you to experience it in a different way.
Well, we could watch the 1977 home release version that I have, Ken.
Do that, because that didn't have any sound to it, did it?
There's no sound, and it ends with them rescuing Princess Leia. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah, it was like 8 minute. It was a Super 8, right?
The Super 8 mil. It was released in 1977. So if you never went to the movie theater and you just watched that, you just assumed rescuing Princess Leia was the end of the movie. Released by Lucas. I mean, that was a Lucasfilm 20th Century Fox released that.
Interesting.
So, I have it recorded somewhere. I shot it onto my wall and recorded it with my phone. because I don't have the device to record an 8mm onto video. So
Something else I thought that was cool about that, kind of coincidence, but I thought was pretty cool about that element of them adding the voice audio to the lightsaber is I'd actually coincidentally already made a character that had something very similar of an element with his lightsaber, that it had like the echoes of the Sith who had wielded the kyber crystals and lightsabers that formed his.
oh, that's cool.
And then when I seen that element after watching it through the second time and then watching a clip about it, I was like, oh man, I must be, you know,
Might be on the
might be on the right path of the
They're
creative.
drinking the special sauce.
yeah.
Apparently.
Well, the I think, who was the detective in that story?
Lawson.
Yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
I think because when I first watched it, I thought Maul was the main character. I still think that guy was the main character.
I mean,
Like if you would have not put a title on it, that would have.
I will
you know,
say he does have a lot of panel time and is in a lot of covers of the comics too. So
but yeah, that was. I mean, that the Darth Maul was really good. I had to watch it at night because I got sunlight that comes in my one room, and there were so many dark scenes. I was like, I can't watch this right now. I need one of those anti-glare sheets for my
Right.
television.
yeah, I'm interested to see where the second season is gonna go. I think it's obviously gonna be Devin finding out about Maul being the reason that Docky died. I think that'll come out at some point. And we already kind of seen her tap into her rage and her anger and
Yeah.
and wanting revenge, and those are all elements of the dark side and the Sith. So, but we didn't see the Sith eyes, so
Yeah.
I think they're saving that for season 2 or whenever she finds out Maul's the reason that her master's dead. The only really the only person she's really known in that way, like the closest person to her.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what season 2 has. So here's a question for you, related to everything we talked about, and also remember you're talking to Ken and I, who have taken years sometimes to get stuff done. What's your timeline for your stories and fan film? If you had to lay out a timeline,
I'm hoping to push out the first novel within the next couple months.
Okay.
Next couple months is the goal. You know, realistically, it might take longer than that. The fan film will probably be, you know, a couple years out. It's going to take a lot of acquiring actors, acquiring props, acquiring sets that I think would be easy to isolate on a budget.
Yeah.
To make look immersive and appropriate. Finding people that are good with effects and stuff like that, so I can do the film's justice. You know what I mean? I don't want it to look subpar or anything that's not like Star Wars. So I'm really looking for you know, some forests, some jungles, some mountains, some whatever I can find, man. I'm in Maine, so I got a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say Maine. You got Endor floating around there,
right.
and Hoth, depending on what time of the year it is. So
And that film though will likely be based on the first novel, which is Ghost of the Republic, which is a story about a former Jedi soldier, which is a bit of an oxymoron, but he was a sort of secret weapon of the Republic in the times of the Clone Wars. and all files and archives on his existence were wiped from the Jedi archives, and they had planned to you know, erase his existence in actuality, but he goes into hiding and becomes not a Jedi, not a Sith, doesn't really look to prevent wars anymore or anything like that. He just looks to survive. And
Does he have
Yeah,
the
I
same
don't-
weakness as a Jedi when they see injustice? Was that the Inquisitor that was saying that in
That was the
Obi-Wan?
Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
is
it's like
he
six-
does very much have that. He's very much still a Jedi at heart. He's very much he's a hero. You know, he's the typical main character with very unorthodox elements and ideologies. He questions the republic that he served. He like I said, I'm very inspired by a lot of the characters in politics that are gray. So my Jedi groups in this story aren't your typical Jedis. My Sith groups in this story are some are more parallel to gray Jedi. They're more extremist maybe.
Now with your fan film, so this is more nuts and bolts questions. Do you see yourself more as director, actor,
I
producer?
I plan on co-directing and giving the actual directing, you know, the main seat to someone with experience and in actual Star Wars fan films at that. But I think I might get in a suit and a mask and play one of the dark side users. I gravitate more towards the dark characters in most fictional universes. They tend to have more character evolution
They have cooler costumes. I
and way cooler costumes and aesthetics. That's just a known fact. Would you rather be a grown man in a bat costume with a cape, or would you rather, you know, there's just
I don't know. I'd like being Bruce Wayne driving around in a Lambo. I mean,
I mean, yeah, that part's cool. But would you rather be the
living in a
grown
mansion.
man in the spandex bat costume or the guy in the pinstripe suit and the dress shoes with the tie?
well, I don't know. The only one that breaks those rules are the Mandos. Like the Mandos, after being at Fan Expo and seeing those Mandos from all over the world, um,
I've
Mandos
seen
are the
a lot
only.
of really cool Mando outfits. Like,
You got to include Mandos in your story. That's
oh,
just,
for sure. Like I said, with the Jawa legends, there might be a Jawa Mando in there. I
Yeah,
wanted,
because according to the old lore, I mean, Mandos weren't a species; they were a group of people that followed similar practices.
yeah. Well, me and Ken have been involved in the Solo Chronicles. So just to give you a time frame, when did we film that first?
2019,
2019. We filmed our first.
I think it was 2019.
No, it was right after COVID. When was COVID? Or did we?
Are you sure? I thought we did one before it.
No, it was because he wanted to do the weekend COVID started, and we got pushed
Because
back.
we also then that'd be 2021. Then maybe
Yeah,
that was
2020.
because he had stuff. He had stuff out before then.
Oh yeah, that was his old shows. But I mean, he's still in post production for that stuff for at least 4 years.
Yeah.
So, you know,
there's also a place out in I think Utah, Outpost. I can't remember.
77.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing some filming there if they allow it too. If you can work
Well, at
out.
the very least, those people would be great to talk with about the building of the sets and the props and that kind of stuff. Them and the folks who are involved in Space Dive.
oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, again, you just reach out to people. I think it was right at the end of COVID. I just had a pile of droid parts and protocol droid parts that were bad, and some guy paid to have them shipped to Canada to put in. He needed them for a fan film. So, hey, there's Coach Vader. So that's another PA trooper. But I don't know. Like I said, I was trying to look at what the main. I don't know what mains in the 501st Legion. My 501st Legion map does not want to come up. But you got to reach out to all those guys. Even again, if you're doing custom costumes, many of these guys will a drop of a hat to make something different. You know.
Yeah, as you can see from the because I sent you a whole lot of art concepts and stuff, mock-ups. A lot of things are very adjacent, very grounded, very Star Wars looking, even if they ain't, stormtrooper outfits. It's very much something you could see floating around in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
And don't forget all the visual material that you have access to, whether it's the art of books or the visual dictionaries, or
Right.
even, going into the 501st and the Mandalorian CRLs. I mean, those are great places to get inspiration for either just what it looks like and or how to put the pieces together.
Right.
Andor.
Yeah. Well, and to Ken's point, the Galactic Empire, the music band, like their costumes are a mishmash of all kinds of Star Wars adjacent costumes.
I have a few
Yep.
friends that have seen them. It'd be really cool to do something with them too. I'd really like to, because I mean, it's a lot easier to do a fan film than it is to do an animation, because animation just costs so much.
Yeah.
But if I can manage to get an anime, even if it's a couple minutes one day, a little couple minute clip, maybe make a music video with Galactic Empire with some animation for this unofficial Star Wars story.
Well, the other fun part, and I'm not saying this is what your 5-year plan is, but many people who get this itch end up doing something down the road. I mean, look at BB-8 for instance. The people who built BB-8 started off as droid building fans, and Kathleen Kennedy and some of the folks from Star Wars saw them at one of the Star Wars celebrations, or John Knoll as himself as a kid went to visit ILM, and he's been working on Star Wars for decades. So who knows where this can take you?
Right. And that's the way I'm looking at it. Is like you can only create it. What's the movie? If you build it, they will come.
Right. It's like
Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
It's like fan film
This
of
is a
dreams.
Star Field of Dreams.
And that's pretty much anything. If you make something, it's gonna click with someone out there. There's an audience for everything.
Well,
And
wasn't Twilight didn't that start off as fan fiction?
Oh, is that the twinkly vampire thing?
yeah, the sparkly vampires.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that started off as fan fiction. So do your Star Wars stories have romance in it?
I actually, funny story. The second book, Blood and Starlight, is a thriller, psychological thriller, horror, and romance. All those elements together. So a lot of politics in that one too.
Well,
that I like.
I think wasn't the director of Acolyte? Didn't she start writing fan fiction?
That part I'm not sure.
I haven't heard about that.
I want to say it was her, but I could be wrong. But
I'm a big fan of Acolyte, by the way, and Andor. Yeah. I love both those series. Like, I know huge Star Wars fans that haven't even watched Andor yet because they say every time they try, they can't They can't seem to get into it.
Well, I'll tell you. I know exactly what's wrong with people that can't watch Andor. It's their phone.
Yeah, you're probably
like
right.
like if Andor was in the movie theater, they would, if they put the first couple episodes in the movie theater, they went and saw it where they had to put their phone down. They would like it, but you can't watch Andor and have your phone in your hand.
I don't just like it. I honestly like. I love Andor. I think it might be one of my favorite live action series for Star Wars.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I think the people, when they say they don't get it, and there's certain friends of mine I know, I've watched them watch TV before, and
Right.
they have their phone in their hand.
I'm guilty of that a lot.
And Andor is deep. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you have a lot. It's hitting you with a lot.
Partner just whipped her head around at me when I said that. But yeah, an Acolyte. Andor just makes Rogue One's ending hit so much different for me, because a lot of people were watching Rogue One. I know a lot of women who watched Rogue One, and a lot of men who are into the romance factor. And between Jin and Cassian, and they're like, oh, why didn't they kiss at the end? But then it makes it hit so much different when you find out Cassian had a whole other love interest and had a kid with her that he never even knew about.
Yeah.
Well, and I was never on the side of there being romance between those two characters.
No, I
An
was
understanding, a deep
into that.
appreciation for them, but I didn't think there was, future smooching involved.
Right, but every fiction, it doesn't even have to be fiction. Everything has fans that ship characters that don't even have romance in the series. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's just part of it. It's just,
Yeah, it's just
it's just a fandom. Like, I mean, you think of, I don't think I was shipping people. I don't even think that was a word when I was a kid, but
right.
Whatever action, my Jawas were best friends with Chewie because that was the only action figures I had for the longest time.
Nice.
So that it's I think all of us like Star Wars, and I think everyone, whatever your fandom is, wrestling, whatever, use part of,
gravitate towards different things,
and you also use that to get through life sometimes. Like sometimes you're two old guys that talk about Star Wars every Wednesday because it just it breaks your week up. You know what I mean? It's so
we're 210 episodes.
No, I think we're on 200. I think this is 204.
I don't know, but I don't think it's 204.
Who's counting?
I think it is.
I don't think it is.
Hang on. Well, I have been known to miscount before.
I don't think it's 204.
You think it's a little higher?
I think it's higher.
Hang on.
We should just ask Todd. Todd knows.
Yeah,
Todd knows. Todd can count good.
Well, I had a dream I had a dream the one week that I accidentally deleted all of our podcasts. So let's see.
I had a dream that you actually found all of our podcasts.
Well, that's even better. Let's see. 200, 201, 202, 203, 204. This is 205.
I told you.
All right.
I told
205.
205 there, boys.
Yeah, 205 is bigger than 204.
We should figure out how many days we've missed, and then make up show like do some weeks or two just to catch up. Do some catch up.
We can just take this show and divide it in half. We're already like the minute 20 mark.
Yeah, our longest show. How long was it?
4 hours 20 something minutes.
Yeah, that's our longest show.
Also,
it was longer than the Gandhi movie.
I don't know if you guys have played this game, Star Wars Outlaw.
Not yet. Is it? Oh, the video game? Yeah, I've played that.
Wait, what is it?
Star Wars Outlaw.
Star Wars Outlaw.
It has mixed reviews, so I wanted to try it out for myself. The game is so good. Like I don't get what people are hating on. It and they have a book that's connected to it. Like,
I think there's a special badge you earn that if you become a Star Wars hater, and like it gets sent out from the secret society, and it's like you're in the cool kids
I think
club.
they're
or-
secretly just really hardcore Star Trek fans.
Well, I tell
yeah,
you,
but even then they'd have to love something.
yeah. Again, I'll say again, it's just easier to hate something because you don't really have to. You could just spout off the. It's
Right.
the same with the prequels. Years ago, when everyone hated the prequels, they would just say things like Jar Jar politics. They would just say those words,
Right.
and
I
yeah,
love the politics. I'm admittedly not the hugest Jar Jar fan, but I am a huge fan of the
you're
Darth.
talking to the largest Jawa.
I am a huge fan of the Darth Jar Jar theory, though, because I
So
feel
you're
like
a Jar Jar fan. You just
I am
just admit
I
it.
am
You're a Jar Jar fan.
theories, and I think that he does add depth to, you know, I like seeing the alien races, so it's hard to hate any alien character for me. Like even
It's either
Skeleton,
do or do not. There is no try.
yeah,
You're
even
either a
Skeleton Crew, like a lot of people don't like that series. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought they introducing the little owl alien race was awesome.
And that was a puppet. That was a real puppet.
That's awesome.
Even
Like
better. I still want me and Ken to do a sing along to the what was that song? The Hutties.
See, I'm not even gonna support if you don't know the name of the song.
I know, but it was Major Tom was the real song, right? But what was
Yeah.
the Hutties?
Bunky Doe or something along those
Yeah.
lines.
That's what I want. I want to
That's
live
what-
sing along at our next panel. If we ever get a panel again, I feel like we've been panel. I'm putting that on the
Blocked out.
panel. I'm putting that on the panel for celebration application. That we're going to end it with a sing along for that thing. So
I
We still have to
support.
get our pirate costume club together.
yes. Well, I think we've said everything you can say about Star Wars. We're done. 205 episodes. We're done. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, call it a career.
But Jay, you have to make sure you give me any contact stuff you want to go out, and I'll put on our feed. And anyone listening, we at least still have 3 people up. Or if you're listening on Spotify, check out Jay.
Coach
and all his-
Vader thinks Outlaws is awesome too.
Yeah.
I agree. He has good taste.
I like Outlaws. I just have only played it for like a half a second.
I definitely implore you to play more seconds, more half.
I will. I
He's
just
too busy playing Fortnite.
that's what I see. I'm
Really?
a bad gamer in the sense that like I don't play that much, so I like something I can sit down and be instantly playing really quick and then be done really quick.
That's my oldest son. He plays so much Like I thought that I was decent at Fortnite until I played with my kid, and he was like chasing. It was when like the Iron Man boots were out and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was chasing this guy across the world, and he was just like talking jive to him the whole time, and like and telling me he's not gonna get away, Dad. He's not gonna get away, Dad, is he? I was like, I guess not. Like I'm way back here across the world. They both done left me.
That's what Zoe's like, shooting people and marking stuff and dropping stuff
Right.
off for me at the same time. I'm like, I'm just trying to shoot.
And I'm actually a hardcore gamer. Like I'm a sweat. I'm a tryhard. Like made money playing Halo 2, Gears of War 2,
Oh, nice.
FC Undisputed 3, all kinds of games. But you get me on Fortnite with some of these little kids, and they're like, it's like they came out the womb playing Fortnite, or they were playing in there. They had it pre-ordered.
Well, yeah, Blitz has a Star Wars weaponry right now. That's what Coach just popped up. So you can do lightsabers and all that on Blitz right now. So I was actually playing with Josh, my friend, and also somebody true. I was playing with his son earlier today. So
Bo plays Fortnite.
he just started. So
And
He was-
also a future project also in parallel with those unofficial Star Wars projects is a Discord server for Star Wars Echoes that's going to be a tabletop RPG
Oh, nice.
And it'll be 100% playable from Discord, and there'll also be printable character sheets and things so you can play in person.
Sounds like maybe we have to play a little bit live here one day with our show.
for
Once
sure.
you get it up and running.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We could do some test runs and stuff early on the beta. It's gonna have bots running everything from the whole damage on your ships, how much fuel you have, to how many credits each person has in the server, to automating dice rolls, all that good stuff.
I don't know. I like rolling my own dice. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it definitely has been fun hanging out with you tonight.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
So thanks, Jay.
Thanks for
And-
having me. It's been an honor. I've been waiting to come aboard.
Yeah. Well, you have to stop in every once in a while, give us updates on what's going on. You know, like I said,
that'd be awesome.
if Ken can't be your pink shorts guy, you do have to get a pink shorts guy for your production crew.
You need at least one boom operator in a pink shorts.
Yeah,
that's a rule.
He's pretty much claimed the position, so.
So
Todd will play RPGs with us.
Anyway, thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you for having me.
And I won't be here next week, Ken. I don't know if you're going to do a show. If by some chance I'm at Batu, maybe I can phone in from Batu. We'll see. So.
Yeah, and if either one of y'all are ever too busy to make a show, I can always fill in if I'm free.
Cool. All right.
Nice.
I'm going to throw our quick ending on and talk to you guys later.
All right. Y'all have a blessed
Thanks,
night.
man.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you, everyone.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10. I've been running scams on the street since I was 10.
Hey, hey, Mike, what do you see? A Falcon that inflates for free. Hey, hey, Ken, what's the drill? Blue milk sipping gives me a thrill. The inflatable Falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. Left, right, left, we're marching through. Cosplay helmets and a saber or two. Hey, hey, Mike, what's the plan? To nerd out harder than anyone can. The inflatable Falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. So grab your gear and join the crew. Mike and Ken got a show for you. Laughs and stars and a galaxy far. The Falcon's ready, let's raise the bar.